Hello everyone, welcome to the RPGames YouTube channel. My name is Ralph and this is Orwell, a game by Osmotic Studios which was released in 2016, it's won a bunch of awards. And in Orwell we are going to play an employee of the government. The government of the nation has just rolled out this program called Orwell, and what we can do with this program is we can keep an eye on the citizens of the nation, and with the right approvals we can listen to their phone calls, we can check their chats, their social media, websites, we can read their emails. Privacy is gone, pretty much. So this is my first day, I think, in my new job. I'm going to create a profile in Orwell, let's see. A profile picture, which makes me look like this, that's fine. And my name is, of course, Ralph P. Games. This, of course, I'm gonna skip, that's fine. Please agree to the following terms. I'm aware that my actions may severely impact the lives of citizens of the nation. I will work thoroughly and judge objectively in the best of my beliefs. While working, I will adhere to the laws and jurisdiction of the nation. Well, I don't really have another choice as a government employee to agree with all of the above. Thank you for ensuring the safety of the nation's people. Our registration is complete. So let's see. Freedom Plaza, the 12th of April of 2017, about a little before 8 in the morning. And this is what our database does, apparently. Scanning people. It's all camera footage. Oh, we have found someone with a police record getting on the bus. A couple with a kiss. That's sweet, very romantic under the statue. Whoa! That was a bit of an explosive kiss. Whoa, that was a very explosive kiss. The clocks were striking 13. This is episode 1 of Orwell. And I'm assuming this is my colleague or my boss, maybe. He's called Symes and he's happy that I'm online. Call me Symes, I will be your advisor on Orwell. Together we will form both the first and the last line of defense against terrorism. He takes this job seriously, I can tell already. For this test phase, you are one of the first people to try out the Orwell system under real circumstances, selected from thousands of applicants from across the globe. Well, I've always felt very unique, so I'm not surprised. Normally congratulations would be in order, but as you can see from that footage, there has been an incident. So let's get started. I've activated the reader tool for you, so we have 3 tools here: reader, listener and insider. Its purpose is storing bookmarks to online websites and documents for easy access and to highlight when there is new information to be investigated. First, I want you to be informed of the situation. Our leading newspaper, the National Beholder, will bring you up to speed. Alright, so let's check the headlines of the National Beholder. Feel free to browse the National Beholder. I've activated the profiler. Open the unknown person file once you're done. Alright, so a bomb obliterates the Freedom Memorial and kills 3. Explosion destroys the Freedom Memorial in Bonton. 3 people killed, 5 severely injured. Authorities receive strange letter. And then there is another headline, negotiations in Triflet failed. And the movie shooting of 100 Grey Shadows has been completed. So let me read a bit more about the attack here. Let's see, at approximately 7:50 p.m. on Wednesday evening, an explosive device detonated at the Freedom Plaza in Bonton. According to official police records, 3 people were killed, at least 5 bystanders were severely wounded, and the Freedom Memorial was nearly completely destroyed. Police forces closed off the area immediately. Experts believe the attack was an act of terror, with police confirming that the explosive device was homemade and triggered from a short distance away using a cell phone signal. Police reports also confirmed that several hours earlier an anonymous letter containing the first 3 stanzas of the German folk song Die Gedanken sind frei, the thoughts are free, had reached local authorities. Prime Minister Blaine immediately issued a public press statement firmly condemning the assault and put the nation on high alert until the perpetrators have been brought to justice. Alright, so that is one headline. Let's take a look at the others as well. It's not like looking for a terrorist is something urgent. Peace negotiations in the riot-ridden Bargesian capital city Triflet have been aborted without any result last night. Independent sources report that President Cassard abruptly cut off communication with opposition representatives as the latter presented a tangible plan for the organization of re-elections. The news about the premature cancellation of the negotiations caused thousands of people to resume demonstrations in the capital. It has been reported that demonstrators wearing hoods threw incendiary material into shop windows and onto cars. The police struggled to keep the situation under control. Prime Minister Blaine stated his worries about the negative developments regarding the political situation of the neighboring country, and has requested both sides to resume diplomatic discussions. I'm not sure if that is related, like the riots in the neighboring country, whether that will be related to a bomb going off in our country, in the city of Bonton. And I'm quite sure that the movie shooting is also not very related. After a lengthy shoot in the hills of Bonton, self-proclaimed visionary director Sumishi Aran announced that filming of his eagerly awaited romantic drama 100 Grey Shadows has finally come to an end. Announced via his Timeline's profile yesterday, the Barges director said he was eager to begin post-production and the final editing stages before the conclusion of the Grey Shadows series would hit the cinemas on Valentine's Day next year. It's a great date for the release of this movie. The third and final chapter in the Grey Shadows saga, previous releases being A Grey Shadow and Another Grey Shadow, which is 2 extremely original titles. was announced to be released almost 4 years ago, but was postponed numerous times due to production problems. Fans have speculated that this was largely due to the breakdown of Hollywood power couple Betty Avon and Mike McDeal, who have had long-lasting quarrels during the filming as a result. One production hand was reported to say that these spats were getting out of control and that completion of any scene featuring both actors was nothing short of pulling teeth. When we reached out to Rhubarb Productions to get a comment, they declined the rumors and claimed them to be mere speculation. So that is an online ad, I assume, for Rosen Technologies. Not quite sure what they do. And another ad for the First National Bank, alright. And then we have an unknown person. The profiler holds all known information on those we investigate. The file you have opened is your main suspect. The blue-haired woman that the CCTV footage shows before the assault is no stranger to the police. Take a look at the arrest record. So there is a new tidbit in the Bonton police database. So we have access to the police database as well, apparently. The highlighted elements in the record are pieces of data that are able to be extracted. We call these elements data chunks. Hovering over data chunks will reveal their relevance to the case and any connections or information it may influence. Drag and drop all data chunks from the police database into a profile to upload them to our servers. So, it's no longer an unknown person, I would say. So we have Cassandra Watergate. That seems relevant to upload. I would say that the picture we can upload as well. Yes. Very good. Pictures and names are crucial information for Orwell to identify a person. Information in documents can only become a data chunk when it can clearly be assigned to a target person. Add the reason for Miss Watergate's prior arrest that has just been unlocked. We will need this info to progress. Alright, so Cassandra Watergate was arrested on the 10th of July 2016 for assault on a police officer. The arresting officer was Duncan Lloyd, and she was held in Bonton Central PD. Suspect was arrested on site after Officer Franklin had been struck by an unknown object and became unresponsive. The protesters at the origin of the assault were forcibly moved, where the suspect was found kneeling and weeping on the ground. When asked to lay on the ground with her hands behind her back, the suspect cooperated immediately. Alright. With the data you extracted from the police record, a new document can now be accessed. Now let me ask you a question. Do you believe in coincidence? I do not. Find data revealing where she attacked the police officer and you will see what I mean. So uploading data chunks into our Orwell database is going to give us new tidbits of information, and with all the pieces of the puzzle we are supposed to try and solve who did this, who placed that bomb at the Freedom Square. Is this woman a terrorist? On July the 25th of 2016, woman allegedly injured a police officer 2 weeks ago, remains in custody. Trial scheduled for August. Cassandra W., a simple protester or a anti-governmental terrorist? The case that keeps the media and the public guessing. Cassandra W., who had allegedly injured a police officer severely 2 weeks ago, is still being held in police custody. The young woman is accused of having hit the victim's head with a large brick. Oh, That's very subtle. The incident occurred during a rampage at the Freedom Plaza as part of a demonstration. So that is the exact place where the bomb went off. A demonstration against the newest amendments to the government's model project, the Safety Bill. Due to the chaotic nature of the scene, police have not yet been able to connect the crime to the accused. Cassandra W., who is an artist by profession, has denied the accusations completely and has asked her fans to show their support. A trial has now been scheduled for mid-August. The case received nationwide attention when Catherine Delacroix, Secretary of Security, labeled the alleged perpetrator alongside the other rioters as anti-governmental terrorists. Okay, if you want to do like a quick fun exercise, say Secretary of Security 10 times really fast. Let's see, occupation. So that is useful, I guess. Oh yes, one who does street art by blowing memorials to pieces by any chance. Ah, that's very funny, Symes. It's good that you think ahead, but let's focus on the current objective first. I've held back a new document for you. I'll grant access once you're done. Alright. So the incident occurred during a demonstration at Freedom Plaza. The exact same location as the assault. Then she turns up there right before the explosion. Surely not a coincidence. And you know, Miss Watergate is still running around freely. We should find out why. We should also gather more background information on her. I want to know who we are really dealing with. Great, you found another document. Before we go on, let's clarify your job and how it affects mine, shall we? You have extracted all the info I already knew about Miss Watergate. Starting now, I'm going into this case blind. The Orwell Ethical Codex dictates that investigators like yourself are the only ones allowed to access the documents of target persons. Advisors like me only get to see the data provided by the investigators. We will then draw conclusions and request action. So that means that if I somehow fail to include like this very important clue, that the story might go in a different direction. That's how I read that. Your primary job is to provide information you deem important. Never give away incorrect or misleading data. And never forget to include important clues, I guess. You may hit disable on a data chunk you do not want to pass on to Orwell. However, some data chunks might be necessary to progress on the case. Alright, so we are on our own now, I guess. Cassandra's port. Okay, so this is like her portfolio page. Let's see. Hi, I'm Cassie, a colorful inhabitant of Wonderland, right behind the rainbow. Glad you found me. Finally found the courage to quit my dull day job, focus on my art career, and put my stuff on portfolio. Below you will find a handpicked selection of my latest work. You can browse through them by clicking on the arrows on the left and right side of the pictures below. See something you like? Why, of course you do, because it's freaking awesome, isn't it? Leave a message on my UTEL account, dcassie92, and tell me which piece you'd like. I'm gonna make a fine art print and ship it right away to your doorstep, best thing, free of charge. Now off you go and have fun. Alright, so this is the beloved furball Kikiko. Yep, that beaut is me. I was never sure about the title though. The Businessman's Forgotten Daughter or Victim of Traditionalism in Pink. What do you think? A Christmas present for my darling. This was actually meant to be a private piece, but oh well, I have a hard time keeping it to myself. So there is a number of things that I want to upload into Orwell. This util account for sure has to be very important. Good, you found a chat handle that will allow us to overhear any conversations on that account. The listener has now been unlocked. New conversations will appear whenever they are started. Then let's see, quit my dull job, focus on my art career. So quit a previous job. Maybe we can see where she used to work if I upload that. We should find out what that job was. Exactly, Symes, that's what I was saying. I don't think this is very relevant. Let's see here, the businessman's forgotten daughter. Maybe we get some information on her parents that way. And apparently she's in a relationship with someone. And I think that's it for the portfolio page, I hope. And there is a chat going on right at this moment. Hey you. Hey Jossie. Who's Jossie? I can't seem to find my credit card. I assume you took it, right? Ah, you got me, Sherlock. I'm in the middle of buying all of Bonton with that platinum card I lifted from your desk. Can't stop me now. Well, luckily for you, I don't mind you going on a splurge as long as you pick up some wine for dinner. Wine, what does Joseph Langley, my fearless attorney and all-around badass, have in mind this time? Perhaps just a business call from one of his favorite clients? Actually, yes, that's exactly what is going to happen. Very serious business, Cassandra. I thought as much. Guess I better pick up shitloads of wine. You'll have to get this client of yours pretty buzzed to handle all that business. One bottle should be fine, she's lightweight. Oh, whatever. I guess I shouldn't pick up some of those party pills from Big Pharma, aka my parents then. Oh, come on, I was only teasing. Speaking of your parents, when are you going to tell them about us? Yeah, maybe. Gotta go now. Text you later. So, her parents are apparently in Big Pharma. So, let's see what we can find on that. Watergate Pharma Entrepreneurs. That does ring a bell. So we have a new hit in the reader, but I think there was something else. Ah yes, Joseph Langley. So this is the boyfriend, I assume. Is it? So this is like a boyfriend and lawyer. You now have a profile for a related person. It can be accessed via the profiler. Data chunks will only appear for targeted persons and can only be extracted into their relevant profiles. Okay, so now we're going to create like a web of relationships around Cassandra, I'm guessing. And then whatever information we find, we have to upload into the correct profile. There was one more data chunk here, but that stole a credit card from Joseph Langley. Yeah, that's not very relevant, so I'm not going to include that one. Let's see. Procedure closing raises manipulation suspicions. So on the 10th of August in 2016, investigation into the malicious injury of a police officer has been dropped due to lack of evidence. Speculated that the accused parents manipulated the trial. Orwell informs me you just encountered conflicted data chunks. Whenever the content of two data chunks are at odds with one another, those will be shown as conflicted, so the ones in yellow. When you extract one of the data chunks containing a conflict, the others will become invalid immediately. I'd highly recommend that you clarify the context of the conflict before you proceed, though this is your decision. Once the information has been parsed, there is no way to reverse your choice. Alright, so there are going to be cases where I have to choose between different parts of information. So let's see what the article says. The case that has been at the center of media attention for the last month has finally come to an end. Cassandra W. was acquitted of the alleged assault against a police officer before the trial took place, with the case being closed due to lack of evidence. However, the case might be reopened should new evidence be discovered. The suspect's lawyer, Joseph Langley, welcomed this outcome. At no point has there ever been any valid evidence that my client was guilty. At no point at all. The revered defense attorney commented during a post-trial press gathering. The defense successfully brought video evidence depicting the incident in question, which eventually turned the tide of the proceedings. Meanwhile, the relatives of the victim expressed their disappointment on hearing the result of the lawsuit. They openly voiced their concerns that the wealthy family of the accused might have influenced the outcome in her favor. The victim, a father of two young sons, was rushed into hospital after the incident in mid-July, where he is still in an induced coma, unresponsive to treatment. So the criminal case was closed. Parents resolved to illegal means to close the target person. So yeah, there's not really evidence of that yet, I think. Let's see, can we... we cannot take this picture, that's a pity. Because then we would have a picture for Joseph Langley. What else do we have? We have Watergate Pharmaceuticals. So Watergate Pharmaceuticals enriches lives with our industry-leading range of products, making an important contribution to the well-being. Below you will find a small selection of our most popular products. So they have cough drops that fight against irritation of the throat. They have activating pills against migraines. They have medication that increases concentration and cerebral performance. Medication for the alleviation of arthritic joint pain. Antidepressant to help stabilize your emotions. All-round painkiller that dissolves in water, and soothing pills for a good night's rest against occasional sleeping problems and for acute application when suffering from insomnia. So that is the products. The jobs, let's see, do they have a job for me? If I get fired from the government, maybe I can work for them, who knows? Watergate Pharmaceuticals is currently looking for suitable candidates for the following positions. A Chief Operating Officer, many years of work experience in a leading management position is what we expect. Deep knowledge of the pharmacy market, master's degree in business economics, fluent, proficiency, but let's say fluent in English, French, and Chinese. Whoa. A traditionally oriented character with a mindset that is nevertheless open for new challenges, a competitive and motivated spirit, and they offer an ambitious and challenging role with high responsibilities at one of the most renowned pharmaceutical companies in the country. A safe job in a stable and promising industry, competitive salary, dynamic team with friendly and cooperative atmosphere, and they're also looking for a research internship, for which you will be a part of a scientific research team for 3 to 6 months. And let's see, you need undergraduate studies or postgraduate of biology, chemistry, biochemistry, or similar fields, reliability and team spirit, and they offer an interesting insight in an exciting, fast-moving industry and a dynamic team with a friendly and cooperative atmosphere. Those are the jobs. And what do they tell about the company? The name Watergate has been inseparable from progression and improvement of pharmaceutical research for more than 80 years. Watergate Pharmaceuticals is one of the nation's leading companies in the area of medicine, and at the same time is the largest medication exporter to all areas of the world. The business has been in the hands of the Watergate family, owning and managing the firm ever since its foundation in 1931. You have Bruno Watergate, who is the CEO, the grandson of our founder Edgar. Apart from working in the family business, Mr. Watergate is also the founder of the Central Pharmacy Congress and head of the charity foundation Children of Barges. Then there is Ellis Watergate, who is the head of research and development, co-partner of the firm with her husband Bruno, holds a PhD in biology and chemistry. She leads the research and development laboratories here at Watergate Pharmaceuticals. And then there is Cassandra, who used to be the junior... there it is. Who used to be the junior COO. Probably by one of her parents. Being an artist and a junior COO seems quite odd. She also mentioned she had to quit a dull job, didn't she? So carrying the family tradition to the next generation, Alice and Bruno's daughter Cassandra will soon be joining the executive ranks. Her business acumen and unique flair will write the next chapter of our 85-year-strong legacy. So let's upload that as well, keeping it a family affair. Yes. Documents that you have already reviewed may be updated from time to time as events unfold. The reader will notify you when that happens. The National Beholder just published a new article. You may want to take a look and see if there's any new information available. Have I forgotten something in the jobs part? Okay, yeah, so we are urgently looking for a chief operating officer, so she's no longer working there. Nothing stays in the family. This is probably what she meant about quitting her job. Yes, so I found evidence. Let's take a look at some more headlines. There is a new headline: crime rate continues to drop. The Ministry of Security has presented latest numbers on crime statistics in the country. Never before have there been so few violent crimes, except for a bombing of Freedom Plaza. On Thursday morning, the Ministry of Security published the new crime statistic report for the preceding year. According to the report, the number of recorded criminal offenses decreased by 4.8% in comparison to last year. The crime rates have been continuously declining over the past several years as a direct result of the implementation of the Safety Bill. Secretary of Security Catherine Delacroix appeared very pleased by these numbers and declared this development an outstanding result of successful safety policy. When confronted with the recent assault in Bonton, she once again admitted the ambitious goals of the government have not yet been accomplished. She further mentioned that activities are currently being established, which will have a considerable impact preventing further incidents. What is this? The party. So the Safety Bill is a collection of safety-centered laws and statutes created with the ultimate goal to protect the freedom of the nation's citizens. Central to the Safety Bill is the simplified, sped-up process of taking investigative measures against criminal suspects and their prosecution, as well as the provision of an increased budget for safety-related expenses. The Safety Bill also paved the way for stricter regulations concerning immigration and general travel into or transiting through the nation. It also became mandatory to inform employers whenever an applicant or employee is an ex-convict or otherwise regarded potentially dangerous. Since the Safety Bill has come into effect in 2011, the total numbers of acts of crimes of terrorism committed have been decreasing continuously, and the trend is ongoing to date. So one of the projects is apparently the Barges Peacekeeping mission. The terrorist incident of 2008 was a terrible consequence of the premature retreat of our troops from Barges, a region torn by civil unrest for years by the order of the previous government. To fix our predecessors' mistakes, the party, when elected in 2009, immediately made preparations to send our highly reliable soldiers back to safeguard the region for the good of the inhabitants of both countries alike. After the Barges peacekeeping mission has been signed in 2011, our troops were sent off to the neighboring country to perform tasks, including the distribution of aid packages containing food in addition to health and hygiene products to the mostly impoverished population, the rebuilding of infrastructure, particularly hospitals and schools with very big invoices, upholding the law and public order alongside the removal of war relics such as anti-personnel mines and unexploded bombshells, and the training of local police and military forces. Due to a recent stabilization in the Barges, we have been able to reduce the number of stationed forces while leaving the overall goals of the peacekeeping mission intact. Become a part of the party. There are many ways in which you can contribute to the nation's success. Becoming involved with the party is a huge one. If you are willing to give your all for a brighter future of the nation and consequently all of the world, come and join us. You can do this by donating. Of course, the party is always grateful for donations of any amount. Your gift will directly help the party to continue its course to build a stable, safe, and positively conservative nation. You can volunteer, support a local group of volunteers to get in touch with the nation's leaders and champion the topics that matter the most to you and your family. You can become a member. Being a member of the party is a life-altering calling. Whoa. As you will represent the party in political matters on a communal and national level. Get in touch and apply to us. Or you can join the Army of the Nation. The party is a big promoter of direct service to the homeland. If you think you have it in you to defend the freedom of the nation in foreign countries and help stabilize them, get enlisted now. So who are the leaders of the nation? Robert Blaine, who is the Prime Minister, as much remarkable visionary as unmatched leader. He's a member of the party in the 4th generation. When the surprising death of the previous leader of the party, Mrs. Goddard, left behind a power vacuum, it was the young Robert Blaine who stepped up and was elected as the new head unanimously. A surprising death of the previous leader, huh? That sounds very suspicious to me. Just as in this exemplary case, Mr. Blaine will take initiative whenever possible and is sure not to relent until the party's ambitious goals have been achieved. We have a character with a very cool name, Arthur Scott Gallagher, or Gallagher. Yeah, that sounds better, Gallagher. He's the Secretary of Economy and Trade. He's one of the most seasoned members of the party, and he's in charge of the Ministry of Economy and Trade. As such, he is directly responsible for reduced tax levels for big and medium-sized corporations, as well as the resulting decline of the unemployment rate. Well done. And then we have the Secretary of Security, Catherine Delacroix, who is dedicated to the purpose of improving the nation's safety on the interior. It was formed directly after the elections in 2009, just as originally proposed by Catherine. Mrs. Delacroix was subsequently granted the position of the first Secretary of Security. She is best known for the inception of the Safety Bill, elevating security standards in the country to a new level. And there is the Secretary of Defense. The Commander-in-Chief of the nation's forces does not tire to stress the importance of stability in the nation's neighboring countries. To that end, Mr. Peter Faulkner created the Barges Peacekeeping mission, which played a key role in the prevention of terrorist activity occurring on the nation's soil. And then we have 5 pillars for a great nation. Here we go. Safety and security. We firmly believe in strict safety regulations and mechanisms to preserve the life and well-being of every individual. Economy and commerce. A strong economy equals a strong society. This is why we strive for constant healthy capitalism, I mean growth. Values and tradition. Our cultural origins are our own. Yes. Debt to the foreign cultures. Our cultural origins are as well as the significance of family and the communal life. Of course, yes, that must be cherished. So important. Family. Probably also marriage, also between a man and a woman, very, very important. In case it's not clear, I'm kidding. Those are not my views. Those are not my views. Migration and foreign affairs. Gating immigration from and intervening in foreign countries is a necessity to uphold law and order in our own. Yes, let's build a big giant fence on the border and let's just close all the borders. That's right. And let them pay for it. Yeah, it's this sounds awfully realistic, actually. It's way too close to what's actually going on in the world right now. And then we have education and health, which is not so important, obviously, because it's the last item. Rock solid education and healthcare systems are the foundation of a great future. Yes, abolish Medicare. What's up with that? All you socialists. So, all the ranting is done, I guess. Let's see, there is something here. Ah yes, we have the conflict and so this we can disable. That doesn't make any sense. There is another. Have I missed something? Oh, the picture. The picture doesn't matter. We can keep the police profile, make her look more guilty. Okay, so there is something important here as well. Oh, again a new portrait. Yeah, that's fine. Let's keep the old one. And that only leaves the conflicting information. So basically, the case was closed due to lack of evidence. So that means, and this one says that parents resolved to illegal means to close the target person criminal case. But we don't have any proof of that being the case. So I will upload the case being closed due to lack of evidence. This is what I figured. A pity that the CCTV feed did not actually help. Maybe it will today. Currently I'm thinking that our Miss Watergate underwent quite a radical change, don't you agree? Let's find out what happened in between these two lives of hers. And what may have caused this radical shift? Well, that's what you get with artists, you know, they're so radical. The moment you give up your COO job and become an artist, that's, you know, that's radicalization in progress right there. Like it's clear, it happens all the time. It happens all the time. So we have the timeline's social media profile. Her birthday we can include. She is from 1992. And her interests are activism, so that might be interesting as well. What a lineup, yeah. That's what I said, like radicalization. Art, music, activism. It's one sentence. Another portrait. Let's disable that. I want to keep this this police picture. Cassandra likes the Targets. I'm assuming that's a band from the looks of it. She likes painting, she likes Alice in Wonderland, and she likes her cat. So on the 1st of March, which is actually only just a month ago, a month and 2 weeks ago, first day in freedom, far away from the shackles of Watergate Pharma. And Jake says, who's gonna pay for your stuff now? Mommy and Daddy won't like this. Listen, Jake, I'm not Daddy's little girl anymore. My art already got me a lot of money, more than enough to pay all my bills. Don't you worry about me. And here she writes, despised puppets of the state. You have finally managed to destroy us entirely. There is nothing left to do but to congratulate you. These are my personal wishes to you from the deepest abyss of my heart. F you, government lackeys. Then Mary replies to that, what's the matter? That totally doesn't sound like you. We haven't hung out for ages. You gotta get out from time to time. You'd feel much better. Mary, just shut your freaking mouth, okay? That's a broken friendship, it seems. I'm not in the mood for your stupid act. I told you again and again, I cannot deal with this right now. Okay, you know what? I'm really sorry that I still care about my best friend, no matter how often she decides to give me the cold shoulder. But in that case, that's in the past now, okay? So, let's see. She's in a relationship with Joseph Langley, according to her profile. With her lawyer might be noteworthy, yes. And then we can... This one I think we can... Or is that... oh no, okay, that's a link to the article. The Beholder actually wrote about me being freaking redeemed of this shit. But surprise, surprise, they had to mention the speculations over my parents buying me out. Makes the click counts go boom, doesn't it? Okay, so that's the article we just read. And then Mary says, at least you are redeemed now, wanna blow off steam together with a little late night shopping tour? Not to date, I have a date this evening. Who's the lucky one? And here is case closed. Mary says congratulations, never had any doubts. Harrison O'Donnell says you're my heroine. 1,000 cams on the plaza but no proof. We've shown the world this dirty surveillance machinery only exists to intimidate and to mislead the people into believing false promises. Cams for safety? One big lie. Juliet says, I'm so happy for you. I knew everything would be okay in the end. Shall we have an awesome Cassandra Freedom Party? And Cassandra says, thank you guys. I'm so happy. I'm sure you heard the load fall off my mind. And Harrison, she replies to Harrison and Juliet, but not to Mary. She talks about an amazing concert and blue hair. What happened to your beautiful hair? Why didn't you ask me before going to a stylist? We could have gone together. Jake says Cassie's going punk. Did mommy and daddy agree with that? You have a little bit of an issue with mommy and daddy Watergate, it seems, Jake. Juliet says that looks nice. It's a whole new you. You'll also need a new name then. What about Cassartes? That's clever. So Cassandra shall be known as Cassartes. And then Harrison will invite her into a little activist group. So Cassartes may be a name that she's using. That might pop up somewhere. It's always good to record every alias. Then we can match data chunks to target persons whenever they are using them. Indeed. And she's part of an activist group, so that makes sense to upload that as well. Anything more specific, I'm sure that we will find out about that very soon. And then she talks about the new band, The Targets, how they rock, punk, not just some punks, the lead singer is a real cutie, and they have this cool guitarist girl. Plus they've got a message, what's not to like? No, sorry, it's not for me. And then here is a picture in Paris with Mary, the best friend of all times. So that friendship is clearly over. So for this one, it's very easy to just pick the previous data chunk, the broken friendship. That is fine. Yes, I'm also very sad about that. The listener. We have a new session with Joseph going on. Did you hear about the Freedom Plaza bombing? Yeah, don't remind me. You know I have a history with that place. I know. She's gonna mention I was gonna say, she's gonna mention that she was there right before the explosion. So I have to catch a bus from there every day. Too many bad memories, and now I was just there moments before this happened. I should have never gone to that damn protest. Darling, you don't need to justify yourself to anybody, especially not to me. I was so happy when Goldfels accepted me into thought. I desperately wanted to go to prove my worth to the cause. Think of it this way, if you would have not gone to the protest, then you would never have been wrongfully indicted, and then we would have never met. Yeah, and I would not have been called a terrorist in all the papers. You are not a terrorist, okay? Ain't I? You sure? I'm pretty sure. Ka-ching. Was that supposed to be my credit card in a cash register? Yes, I guess. It's very expensive wine, Joseph. Yeah, there you go. Chateau Margaux. Ah, you've decided to bankrupt me. Yes. I want your credit card as well, Joseph. Hand it over, buddy. Hand it over. Anyway, I got the good stuff. Now I'm heading to my handsome boyfriend Joseph for dinner. What? Ooh, Joseph, that is not a good idea. That is not a good idea. Blowing off the date. Ooh, there's gonna be fireworks in chat. Got to be kidding me. I'm very sorry, darling. We will see each other tomorrow. Oh no, she was going to take care of business. She told you she was going to take care of business. She was going to get drunk and she was going to take care of business. And now you have an appointment? Joseph, what are you doing, buddy? That is, yeah, you see? How can you constantly do this to me? Yeah, Joseph. Like, stop doing that to your girlfriend. So I keep my mouth shut whenever you leave me hanging. If I don't show up at this appointment, I risk losing a very important client. Ooh, so the client is more important than the girlfriend. Ooh. Ooh. You can tell from my comments that I've been in these kind of situations, right? This is, yeah, too close to home. Okay, so she gets pissed off and she's no longer on his priority list. Haha. All right. He's asking if she has taken her medication. Would that be a joke, or would that be? Maybe it's possible. We'll look that up for you, yes. But there was something else more important up here, I think. So she is at the Freedom Plaza every day. That seems important. Why is not clear yet. Maybe she lives nearby. That could be. And Goldfels accepted me into thought, and thought, I'm assuming, is the activist group that she got invited to. Would that be, I'm assuming that's somehow accurate. We should find something that shows her current attitude and see if we're following the right person. The thoughts. The thoughts are free. If liberty means anything at all, it means the right to tell people what they do not want to hear. Hear, hear. It's a great quote from George Orwell, it seems. Let's see. There is a number of blog posts here. Are the thoughts still free? And okay, they are. None of them are accessible, it seems. Nope, except for. Oh, except for the the one that was posted by Cassandra here. It's scams everywhere, even at the Freedom Plaza. Is it just me, or is that more than just a little bit ironic? You probably all know me as either that blue-haired punk or Jesus. Yeah. Gonna have to bleep that out probably. Or anti-governmental terrorist. These are only some of the names I've been called during criminal investigation against me. That was just because in the middle of the chaos someone believed to have seen me hurt a police officer. Never even occurred to anybody that it wasn't me. We were there because we wanted a peaceful protest. We have always been against violence. Which apparently is a conflicting data chunk, okay. One would assume that in an age where there are cams everywhere, it should be easy to prove whether I was at all involved or not, but it wasn't. It took weeks of investigative custody to figure out that the cam footage was actually not clearly showing anything at all. Which raises the question, why are there so many cams in the first place? The answer is intimidation only. You keep calm, quiet and careful when there are cameras around. Or you fear that there are cameras where you cannot see. And founding this blog years ago, Abraham predicted pretty much all of this, pretty much this for all of the web. And now it's in our real lives too. We have been brought to the Freedom Memorial since we were kids at school. We were told lavish tales about the founders of the nation, told to show national pride. And I know what you're thinking now. This thing is damn ugly. What is that donut even? Let freedom ring. But the statement behind this ridiculous, enormous heap of stones should be clear. In the middle of the Capitol there is a symbol of freedom. Comprehensible symbolism for everyone, isn't it? With the cameras there, this is now the plaza of unfreedom, if anything at all. So, Cassandra, that's a clear view from you. Is that now? Oh, that is not very smart, is it? Really? So finally, Cassandra posted, finally someone had the grit and explosives to show how futile surveillance is. Yeah, that's not very smart. That is not very smart. And Jake says, really? You laugh at people being killed? Are you out of your mind? Yeah. That is not very smart. Okay, there is one more thing that I need to check. And that is this medication that Symes asked me. Metarin. It was, I believe. Yes. Metarin is an antidepressant. So she might be on medication, or she might be emotionally unstable, yes. Freedom is unfree. Oh boy, so now I have to choose between... Like, we were there because we wanted a peaceful protest. Has an adverse attitude towards violence, but this is in September 2016. But now she posts this, like, finally someone had the grit and explosives to show how futile resistance is. Yeah, so, and this is actually now, today, so I kind of have to upload this one actually. Maybe she was peaceful and then got radicalized by, you know, her art and music. Yeah, especially that punk music, you know, all those radical punks and stuff. with their names like Jello Biafra and Johnny Rotten and Sid Vicious. What is that? What's up with that? Huh? What's up with that punk? Okay, so it seems we're looking at the right person. Yes, we might be. Looking at what you have extracted so far, we're dealing with a potentially dangerous personality. I will indicate that to law enforcement. What we found so far is all good and interesting, but I think we should be searching for something a little more concrete. We have to dig deeper. Ding ding. Ding ding, the listener is, oh, Juliet. She was one of the people commenting on, yeah, she's the one that gave Cassandra the name Cassartis, if I'm not mistaken. So, your post on timelines about this assault. Really, Jules? You're not gonna preach to me about this stupid post, are you? You really shouldn't write something like that. I just wanted to know what's wrong. It's nothing. I just had to let off some steam. It's because of what happened, isn't it? Yeah, and lots of other shit today. This bombing stirred up all of this crap again, you know? What I did? What happened there wasn't your fault. Or was it? Or was it? Cassie, you hurt that officer to save me, and you succeeded. You mustn't forget about that. That was so brave. How can it not have been my fault, Juliet? I smashed the freaking skull of a father of 2 children because I lost it. Who knows what would have happened if you hadn't stopped him. And this is why you really should remove this post. I feel like an asshole, the worst kind of asshole. I might be free, but not rightly so. I'm not innocent. Oh, Cassie, nobody is innocent. You'll have to let it go. So, here she's saying guilt towards Juliet Carrington for having injured a police officer in a rage. And here, injured a police officer to protect Juliet. So, since so here she's admitting guilt. Actually, here she's also guilty of injuring the police officer, but here it is to protect someone. And it's actually Juliet who's saying that, and she's saying it before this statement. So I'm assuming that it wasn't case it was a case of self-defense, so to speak. Not really self-defense, but that's a difficult one. I'm gonna go for Juliet's statement here. We'll see. Where did that come from now? This is perfect. We can arrest her and open the investigation again. However, we probably won't be able to hold her for long if it really happened in defense of this Juliet. Very good work. The inventor team is already on its way. We'll need to wait for confirmation. In Miss Watergate's case, it was not a problem to get her address with the help of local police due to her former record. And here is Juliet again. I thought about what you said. Maybe you're right. I should take the post down. Yes, that would be a good idea, Cassandra. It's not very smart to post that kind of stuff. Wait a second, somebody is at the door. I'm guessing it's the police. Whoop, whoop. It's the sound of the police. Whoop, whoop. They're at your door. It doesn't rhyme, but you know. You get the idea. How is your boyfriend? Are you still together? You haven't been talking about him all that much lately. Yeah, that's because he had a client which was more important than me. And I was gonna handle his business. And then he still thought the client was more important. I'll inquire if all went well with arresting Miss Watergate. You did a good job in any case. Although we have no proof she is involved in the bombing, we might be able to question her. Despite acting in defense of this Juliet, she seems to be quite unstable and a threat. Just received confirmation that she is now in custody. Very good work indeed. Curious what this thought group though, whether they... Uh-oh. Second explosion. Ooh. Uh-oh. Alright, so this second explosion is going to have to wait. So this is a great cliffhanger. You know, like you see all the red stuff on the screen, like headlines, second explosion, look at the news. And then it's the end of the episode. If you want to see more, then come back when I upload the next video. There you go, cliffhanger time. Choop, choop, choop. Other than that, thank you very much for watching, of course. If you've enjoyed it, please hit the like button. And if you want to keep following me, then by all means hit that subscribe button as well. I want to get to 10 subscribers instead of just 8. So, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon as well if you want to keep up to date, if you want to get a notification of when I upload a new video. And with that being said, once again, thank you very much. I'm quite enjoying this this game so far. It's not really a role-playing game, of course, but it's a story-based game, which is something that you will probably see me do a lot of on this channel. So, that being said, I'm off. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.